In the upper latitudes of the Next Pro map, we've got a high-velocity showdown between Vancouver Whitecaps 2 and St. Louis City 2. The visitors have been untouchable in their last 10 games, earning 29 out of 30 potential points, latching themselves comfortably at the top of the Western Conference. But they'll have to be ready to get uncomfortable here in Burnaby because the home side is eyeballing the challenge of this moment and welcoming its perils with open arms. Welcome one and all to this broadcast on the MLS live stream on YouTube. My name is Mark Schoenster, excited to get the action going for you here. The only meeting this season between these two sides as we take a peek at these starting lineups. First off, for Ricardo Clark's side, 3 first-teamers getting some looks here today. First off, the usual Nelson Pierre, and then Giuseppe Bovalina getting his 4th start of the season in Whitecaps 2 uniform. And then in goal, also getting his 4th start, Isaac Boehmer getting some reps in. We'll see if him and the rest of his side are ready to defend against this juggernaut of a St. Louis City 2 side. And you wonder, how has this team gone 10 games unbeaten? And then you look at the quality of players that they're trotting out here. So many quality guys who are coming back from last season, have first-team experience, have a ton of goal contributions. Well, a name I want to shout out today, someone who's not usually in the goal contribution category, Cam Seeley, getting his first professional goal and assist in their last match against Minnesota United 2. It'll be Vancouver in the white unis, the navy blue and white shorts for the visitors in St. Louis. Our head official for this evening's match, Matthew Suari. The only time on the schedule these two teams are going to meet this season. Now, of course, as of right now, this is the 1 seed and the 8 seed in the playoff bracket, so should things unravel consistently with the way the rest of the season has gone, perhaps this is a playoff preview in the making. Of course, in that case, it would be taking place over in St. Louis, but these are two sides that are playoff hopeful in Vancouver and currently very optimistic about their chances, about not only just making the playoffs, but making a genuine push for the title in St. Louis City 2. The visitors going left to right, right to left for the home side. It's a lovely day in Burnaby, which means it's a lovely day to play some footy. And now we could go on ahead and get this one started. Whitecaps 2, St. Louis City 2. Let's see how it unfurls. Mackay Joyner quickly playing it up ahead, looking for Glover. Instead falls to the feet of Isaac Boehmer. One of the 3 first-teamers getting a look today for Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Swangard Stadium. A home match for Vancouver. Maybe in some ways looking for a rebuttal after last game's hiccup. Jääskeläinen squares it in the middle, it's booted out. St. Louis once again. So many attacking options. Sorley keeps this in bounds. It's taken away from his clutches. Well done there by Antoine Coupland. As I was saying, this is the Vancouver side, though, looking for a bounce back. They've been in great form as of late, but their previous match isn't an indicator of that. A 3-2 loss here at home against Sporting Kansas City 2. They only had a 2-0 lead going into the half. 2-0 half that Ricardo Clark was very complimentary of. Thought they played very well. As they now push forward here. Felt they played very, very well in the first half. And didn't have a lot of bad things to say about the second half. Just said there are some lapses that meant giving up soft goals, and he felt that mentality-wise they took their foot off the gas just a little bit. Ultimately, the side's objective was to learn from that match, trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. Joyner driving it down for St. Louis. McSorley plays it across the center, falls! Skied over top by Jääskeläinen. The service from McSorley makes its way all the way across the 6-yard box. And Emil Jääskeläinen just couldn't put it on frame. Beaming opportunity early on in this one, just 3 minutes in. Been some tempting propositions from St. Louis. Vancouver will be looking for some punches to throw themselves, but it's going to be tough against such a quality side such as St. Louis. Just coming off of, well, not just coming off of, but last time out, besting Minnesota United FC 2 4-0. Demonstrated the confidence that the side has. And head coach John Hackworth telling me that the confidence that they're exhibiting in matches, including that one against Minnesota, is based on how they've been training. So I'm really happy with how they've looked day to day. In time of the match, getting an early goal is huge, especially against Minnesota, because that opens the game up against a side that's usually tough to break down. And then on top of that, you get 2 set-piece goals. Any game where you get 2 from the set-piece vantage point, really going to lean in your favor. McSorley, another service inside. Jääskeläinen drives it towards goal. It's well off target. That confidence I was just talking about seems to have not lost any muster. Been a little over a week since the last time this St. Louis team played a match. They played Sunday, July 27th. A whole week and some change. And they're on the prowl again. Roundtree combines with Cousin, one of the veteran players on this team. That's saying a lot. This is a pretty experienced unit comparatively to a lot of the Next Pro landscape. Cousin slides it down the middle. Glover escorted out of bounds for the first corner kick of the evening. 2 set-piece goals in that last match against Minnesota. Perez. Also top for Kuzain. Parried down and collected by Bomer. The corner kick rotated around the perimeter. Found a decent look, but Bomer, through the traffic, was able to read that ball and then fall on top of the deflection. Juan Kuzain. Did not get that by Daniel Russo. Certainly positives and negatives to glean from this season so far for Vancouver, a side that right in the thick of the playoff race, sitting above that playoff line in 8th place. Have some ups, some downs to roll with throughout the season. As of late, though, the performances are starting to get more balanced in regards to both being good offensively and defensively. This year, their output scoring has been great, 41 goals, but they've also conceded 36. So there have been goals aplenty in their matches for better and for worse. Talking to Ricardo Clark, when it comes to where the room for improvement is, the biggest thing he told me was they're still looking for that complete 90-minute game. They'll have segments where they look great. They'll have segments where, for example, their last match against Sporting Kansas City, too, where they had a great start, and then they let the game get away from them. And then you have other games where you start poorly, and then you fight back into a match after playing really well in the second half. Well shrugged off there by Daniel Russo. Just outside the penalty area. Making the run for it was Nelson Pierre. He collides with Colin Welsh, the goalkeeper. I mean, I hesitate to say where the foul is here. Nelson Pierre clearly going for the ball. It was not in the goalkeeper's hands yet. And it will be a free kick for Vancouver, so that is the correct decision. A collision, a foul committed by Colin Welsh. You almost assume when a goalkeeper goes down, you assume the call is going in his favor. Nelson Pierre still getting checked on. Worth noting, Colin Welsh has been booked for a yellow card. Goalkeepers are afforded some luxuries, but that doesn't mean you can just run into and collide with anybody. I mean, I think it might be a little bit harsh to call it a yellow unless he got an arm against the head of Pierre. But certainly a foul on the goalkeeper and not on the striker. So now a set piece opportunity for the home side. I want to go straight up in the air. And the call is a goal kick.
Yellow card caution assessed to St. Louis City 2, number 34, Colin Welsh.
That's tough to see if Welch got a hand on that one or not. Although maybe through the whistle and some fouls, Vancouver starting to get the ball further down the pitch and test this St. Louis back line a little bit more. Didn't have to say Welsh's name until he got booked. They're gonna give a yellow card to Tyson Pierce for St. Louis. So 2 bookings early on in this game for the visitors. They're gonna have to be mindful of both of those guys. Of course, a goalkeeper doesn't frequently get booked, so that won't be of utmost concern, but Tyson Pierce, one of the fullbacks, obviously one of the players that you're trying to get involved. Good distance away from goal, this set piece, but got someone who can really deliver a ball. Still make something directly from this. Well jockeyed.
Yellow card caution is sent to St. Louis City 2, number 33, Tyson
Coupland,
Pierce.
who was able to position himself nicely to collect the second ball. Danger still brewing here, and it'll sputter out of bounds. And a corner kick incoming for Vancouver. Chevrolet is proud to be a partner of Vancouver Whitecaps FC since 2023. Together in this stadium, together on the pitch, together, let's drive. Find them at Chevrolet.ca. From the right corner flag, ball dips down, and well, some contact was made. Didn't have a ton of pace and was off target. Colin Welsh could just watch that one roll out of bounds. Last 10 games, no team has been able to best St. Louis. As a matter of fact, 9 of them have lost in regulation. Only once have they drawn in that stretch of time, and they're able to win in penalties. This is a group that's not satisfied. The bar is just continually getting raised higher day in and day out. John Hackworth telling me that this group, as in the staff and the players, are coming in every day with the idea of getting better. And the staff are trying to challenge these guys each and every day. McSorley. That one, a lot of bend, a lot of height to it, but not a lot of danger. I think that's the only way you can really operate as a side if you're on a great winning streak, is you just have to keep pushing them further and further, or else you're going to risk regression or complacency. And that falls not only on the coaching staff, but also on the players, because as much as the staff can push players to maintain and push a standard, if your heart's not in it, then it's not going to happen as a player, that is. Find that form. You really don't want to lose it. Cam Seeley. need to force anything forward, so he'll stroll up the pitch. Stepping in, hit check. There'll be a foul called on Nikola Djordjevic. Despite the run of form that the St. Louis City 2 side have been on, you would think maybe some teams dread the moment that they're coming up on your schedule, but that's not the mentality that Ricardo Clark's side's having. He told me it's going to be a great challenge. He was complimentary of how mature the unit is, and he said, look, they're almost a group of men out there. Joyner working his way inside, cuts it across. Ultimately wide. And a corner kick ensuing. Makai Joyner, an oh-so-dangerous player. 11 goals on the season. He was looking to add to his assist tally there. Entree. Ball's bounced back inside. McSorley couldn't get onto it. Entree now fires. Ambitious and off target. The opposition, an older group. Much older than a lot of the teams in MLS NEXT Pro. And Ricardo Clark saying that makes it valuable for this group of guys in Vancouver. The unfortunate thing is that, although of course you're going to go at this game and try to get the result you're looking for, at the same time, they had a game last Thursday. They have another game on Saturday against the Town, and the Town is another really good team. So you know that they can't be reckless with their minute management. Got to maintain the players physically. But at the same time, these are young guys. They can deal with a little wear and tear, especially for consecutive big games. But that's still something that is certainly on the minds of the coaching staff here at Vancouver. That's a slightly better turnaround. A Sunday match back at home for St. Louis, but they also didn't play as recently. Entree to his left for Joyner. Makai Joyner with a feint. Joyner had the door slammed shut by Mark O'Neill. Great move from Joyner to give himself some space, but then O'Neill saw the line and cut it off. Corner kick played short. Now it's lofted in. Sealy all the way back to Entree. Makai Joyner with his left boot, tried to curl it inside. And a professional foul is going to mean a third yellow card for St. Louis City FC2. Makai Joyner goes into the books, his 6th yellow card of the season. Very intentional foul there. Just the jersey tug, grabbing at the numbers, preventing the counterattack. This is a Vancouver side that is very good transitionally on the attack. A threat that John Hackworth highlighted when scouting out the opponent. So for his side to get a result on the road, they're going to need to win the little nuances of the battle, and that may have been one of them right there. Joyner fires, kick save. Boehmer reacts nicely. And on the other end, Vancouver trying to brew something up. They'll throw it in quickly. Johnny Selemani. Bringing it back to Russo. Too much pushing on the back there from Juan Cusain. BMO is proud to be a founding partner of Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Since 2006, joined the bank as we'll hold that thought for just a moment. Cutting ball across, parried upward, still in danger. And a handball is called. Frantic in front of goal. But nothing to cash in for. Antoine Coupland wiggles by a defender, gets a shot off. And then Djordjevic using his arm to settle it. Let's try that again. BMO is proud to be a founding partner of Vancouver Whitecaps FC since 2006. Join the Bank of Soccer at bmo.com. Opportunity brewing forward. Held up and stifled. McSorley, leading through some traffic, plays it back to Cusain. Still scoreless here despite some good chances now for both sides. Lovely turn. Coupland on that touch line. Chips it to Tucci. Castro rolls it to his right. Curling ball, bicycle kick attempt! Nelson Pierre ambitious, but his boot goes high. Ends up being more of a, not quite a bicycle kick, but just a lifted boot. Doesn't get the rotation necessary. Ambitious nonetheless, but even more so reckless. Called for the foul. Some good looks, still scoreless after 25, 0-0. St. Louis looking to avoid a letdown after a long day of travel. They got off to a great start and they've had some decent looks since then. Vancouver with some great chances themselves. Joyner couldn't split the difference. Rolling shot. Glances off of Boehmer. And another corner kick. Caden Glover trying to roll it to the far post. You feel there's going to be a breaking point at some point. Service bouncing inside dangerously. And now a point to the penalty spot. We've got several players on the ground. Let's get a look at this again. Well, that's a very interesting decision. I mean, that seemed like a collision between two players. I'm not sure where the foul play is there. Very curious. And now Makai Joyner, who has 11 goals this season, is one-on-one against Isaac Bomer, with the opportunity to give St. Louis City 2 the lead. Joyner converts. A penalty awarded and taken advantage of by Makai Joyner, his 12th goal of the season. Here's a look at the foul again. I mean, perhaps they're calling it as a late challenge. I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh for the scenario, but the decision's the decision. So it's going to be 1-0.
St. Louis City 2 goals scored in the 29th minute by number 59, Makai Joyner.
Well, we were saying that this game was begging for a goal. Well, we got it. Perhaps not in the way we fully anticipated. So 30 minutes in, Makai Joyner with the lone goal, giving the visitors the 1-0 advantage, looking to make it 11 straight unbeaten. They've been the side with the larger chunk of chances. Joyner moving forward again. Makai Joyner lost the edge. TELUS now offering pure fiber internet across Canada. Talk about connections. John Hackworth, head coach of St. Louis City 2. Last game that this team played, they're up against Minnesota United. Minnesota United 2, that is. And in that game, Jeremy Hall, the head coach, used to be coached by John Hackworth. Make it 2 games in a row. Ricardo Clark, also back in his youth days, coached by John Hackworth. Ricardo Clark saying about John Hackworth that he's responsible for the development of a bunch of guys in his pool of players from his era. Talked about just how great of a guy he was. Obviously has the pedigree and currently has this St. Louis team really going. The fact of the matter is John Hackworth, he's been around the block and has done quite a bit for soccer in this country, especially on the developmental end. Having coached youth national team squads a couple of times. Zane rolling it back. The St. Louis City 2 side looking to reach the heights of one of the best teams that John Hackworth ever coached. He told me about the US U17s team back in 2005, which included Jeremy Hall from Minnesota United 2. Has a picture of them in his office. Apparently the guys have poked and bothered him and saying, well, what about us? Where do we stand? As this breakaway is brewing. Coupland dashing forward, hits the brakes. Coupland tries to Travella. Had an open option in Nelson Pierre waiting on the right-hand side. You can see his frustration. Just look at it here. You got 42 streaking down the right-hand side. Just square it to him. You're having to beat a defender and beat the goalkeeper from that vantage point. Just getting a little bit too hurried on the breakaway. Taking a good option and not finding the better option. Opportunity to get back level on this game for the home side. Right now, St. Louis with the clear share of chances, and you know they're going to create some more. When you get an opportunity in transition and space in front of you to work, you really got to make the most of those moments. Sorley looking for Jaskalainen. Instead, it finds Bomer. It's a high standard the St. Louis City 2 team operates under, especially if they want to reach the heights of that 2005 team I was talking about earlier, the US U17s. John Hackworth said that this squad here today, they haven't done anything yet. We talk about a 10-game unbeaten streak. That means little at the end of the season, unless you can do something with it. Talked about that youth side that he coached back in 2005. He said the work ethic, accountability were just top-notch. They did whatever they needed for each other, including making it hard and uncomfortable on each other to make sure everyone was operating at the highest standard. Those are always the teams that end up doing the best, the ones that are able to challenge each other and do so consistently and intensely, but still be a healthy team. McSorley has that one poked away from him for a corner kick. Played short. Perez. Cut back to him. Perez again, lifting the ball up. And a much needed head there from Nelson Pierre to make sure it doesn't fall to Jaskalainen. Cam Seeley running it forward, lifts it to Joyner, the goal scorer. Mackay Joyner cuts inside, rolling in the middle. Enschweit picks up the pieces again. Good find in McSorley. McSorley out wide. Perez still going. And some contact won't be called. It's a goal kick for Vancouver. Perhaps going down a bit easy there, Miguel Perez. McSorley after the takeaway. Rolls it, Jaskalainen plays it back across. It's still in front of goal. And now a foul is called. Heroic defending from Vancouver to keep it 1-0. Jaskalainen knows he's got Juan Kuzane streaking in the middle. It doesn't quite connect cleanly. The home side can heave a sigh of relief. And they find some offensive promise on the other side. Perez, Enschweit, quick tap, and yeah, that was awfully presumptuous there from Juan Kuzane. Gets knocked over, thinks a foul should be called. So he grabs the ball to set it down for a set piece. No foul had been called. Play till the whistle. So a free kick incoming now for Vancouver. Just a silly mistake from the midfielder. You can feel it's a foul all you want, but if you haven't heard the whistle, then you can't treat it like it's a foul. Joyner gets by one piece of contact. Mackay Joyner with Enschweit to his right. Joyner tried to cut it to him. Defensively in transition, Vancouver avoid the worst case scenario, but a corner kick now for St. Louis. Perhaps waited a moment too long to release that pass to Seth Enschweit. Couple assists in his professional career, but still fishing for his first professional goal. The Ghanaian. cross goes out in favor of the visitors. Glover, as his service deflected, still was going in the rough vicinity he wanted it to reach. 1-0 lead for St. Louis, looking for their 11th straight match unbeaten. They've earned 29 of the 30 points available in their last 10 matches. They have looked the better side in this one so far. A penalty kick awarded. Kai Joyner converts on it. It's been pretty poised from the visitors. Not without a breakaway opportunity or two, though, for Vancouver. Kuplin from the left-hand side. Antoine Kuplin with the bending ball. Deflected out for a corner. Imagine the vibe shift that would come with scoring from a set piece here. And a piece of it was attained, couldn't be directed towards goal. I believe Pelayo was the one who got on to that service. More effort there from Vancouver collectively. Ball bouncing around. You see white jerseys flashing towards it.
For the visual on the sideline,
3 more minutes will be tacked on.
3 minutes of added time.
This could be dangerous for St. Louis. McSorley lays it off. Jääskeläinen to Joyner. Harried back out. Bomer got a fist on it. That was enough to end that opportunity. And could Vancouver go in the other direction? Kuplin settles. Antoine Kuplin still going with it. Pushed over by Cousin. And Juan Cousin has some repeat offenses, will go into the books. That is 4 yellow cards on St. Louis. Jääskeläinen laying it out for Joyner. His service knocked away by Bomer. And then on the other end, Cousin, just a little extension of his arms in the push there. Kuplin on the service. Not a bad looking ball! We're all tied up! A set piece strike for Vancouver! A big set piece target. Mark O'Neill heads it home. I said it moments ago, what a vibe shift it would be if you could score from a set piece before the half concluded. Vancouver has done just that. Mark O'Neill, the rookie from Creighton. But we're not done yet here. Here they come, and an immediate response. Cam Seeley streaking forward. St. Louis are back on top. Stoppage time, whiplash here at Swangard Stadium. Cam Seeley, having scored his first professional goal last game, he made that one look like he's scored dozens of them at this level. And that is where the halftime whistle will sound. 2-1 your scoreline. Wow. Talk about a hyperbolic way to end the first 45 minutes. Since we were in Austin for the All-Star festivities, our April Merlee Aguilar got the chance to visit with Austin FC2 head coach Brett Utley in this edition of Coach's Corner. Let's take you there.
Welcome back to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm April Merlee Aguilar, here with Austin FC2's head coach, Brett Utley. Thanks so much for the time, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
You've been with this team from the very beginning. What's it like to just see Austin FC2 grow?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, starting it from the beginning back in 2023. We've certainly had a lot of highs, a lot of learning experiences as well. Seeing players come through the pipeline has been really exciting, and also growing as a staff as well. We've had a lot of different coaches and different performance coaches and other staff throughout our time together, and it's just been a great environment.
What sparked your interest to join a new franchise in Austin?
Yeah, it was just an opportunity. I always had an urge to grow as a head coach. I've lived a lot of different experiences as an assistant coach in various roles at different clubs throughout my career thus far, and I just really wanted to take a step and try it as a head coach. And it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learning experiences, and I just really enjoyed the experience thus far.
And I mean, in that inaugural season, you all won the MLS NEXT Pro Cup. What's a memory from that time that most resonates with you?
Yeah, I think the whole season as a whole is my first year as a head coach at this level. Watching players come through, at that moment, Micah Burton was one of the younger guys coming through the academy that was playing with us, which was exciting to see him play. CJ Fodry we drafted and making his MLS debuts. Yeah, just the way the team came together throughout the course of the season. The playoff run was a lot of fun. We had 4 road games as well, which certainly wasn't easy, but yeah, the team just kept growing together as one, and it was really exciting.
And I can't even imagine, what were you thinking once you got your hands on that cup?
Yeah, it was just a lot of hard work. There was so much work going on behind the scenes with everybody from the staff that helped build the team, to the coaching staff, to the performance staff, to the medical staff, to the players. It was seeing it all come together at the end, it was so rewarding.
And it takes a village. And while I was preparing for this conversation with you today, I was reading something about you, and it wasn't necessarily what you do on the field, but it's what you do off of it. And it's hosting these events for your players and the entire staff. Yeah. What types of events are you hosting?
Yeah, we've done a few this year. We went to Butler Pitch and Putt down in Austin, which is a lot of fun. I would say a lot of the players are better soccer players than golfers. But yeah, just events like that. We've had barbecues together. We've gone to pitch and putt. In the past, we've done bowling events. Just a variety of different things just to get the guys together and sharing some time together away from the field and understanding who they are as people, away from just being a soccer player. And I think that's really important. Guys come into our space with all different backgrounds from different cultures, and the more we can get to know each other at a deeper level, I think that is certainly beneficial for us on the field as well.
That was going to lead me to my next question, how valuable is that, quality time with them in order to help them find success on the field?
Yeah, it is, because you just see a different side to the human being rather than just what you're wearing, in your Austin FC clothes every single day. And then you can just see different sides, with guys if they're running the barbecue grill and seeing how they're doing there, and just different conversations that you can have as people is something that I certainly value and certainly helpful for these young guys.
And even as you nurture those relationships, do you feel like that just also helps you in your coaching style because you know how to approach certain players in certain ways? Yeah,
totally. I mean, the second team space ultimately is a bridge between, the academy and the first team. So it's a blend of three environments. So we want to try to create a team culture, a collective. In order to do that, you have to know the human being in front of you and how you have to help, let's say, an 18-year-old coming from the U18s to stepping in our environment for the first time, or a first-team player coming down to play with us is going to be slightly different. And if you know the individual, it's going to be much easier to have those conversations.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time. We'll be rooting for you this season. And thank you so much for you all for tuning into this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be speaking to next. We'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
This summer, the center of the soccer world is right here. The world's best, the world's game, all in your backyard. 4 major moments. One summer like no other. Learn more at MLSsoccer.com/summer.
The youngest MLS debutant, Kevin Sullivan.
Luna.
Yes! That is a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair.
Welcome back. 2-1 your scoreline, St. Louis City 2 with the advantage over Vancouver Whitecaps 2. The best stories out of MLS Next Pro are players achieving their dreams to move up to the MLS. Let's hear one of those stories with a visit from Seattle's Georgie Manungu.
Manungu, numbers for Seattle, looking to put this one to bed. Manungu! This one's in bed, and Georgie Manungu puts it there.
Manungu again running at Yaboa, again stepping over, byline, Manungu!
Georgie Manungu is as unpredictable as any player I've seen play for Seattle in MLS history.
Come from a Christian family, my mom raised me with love and a lot of smile, and she gave me all good education, always happy whatever is coming, so I feel like I can play without joy, as soon as I play with no joy, I'm not happy, and I'm trying to to enjoy what I'm doing and always be normal, natural, so that's me, smile, that's the thing.
For a long time, nobody in Seattle knew the name Georgie Manungu. But in a small village near the western edge of Ivory Coast, the game was already shaping him.
There was no rule, there was no restriction. We play like 9v1, you have the ball and you have to 9 defenders against you, and then you have to dribble all of them to go score, That's how I grew up.
He played in the street, sometimes with a ball made of plastic bags. There were no coaches, no tactics, just a game, and a joy that never left him.
It was fun. We played on the street. The ball wasn't a real ball. It was a very good time. I enjoyed those times. And every time I go back home, I have to play against my friend. Yeah.
When he came to the U.S., he still had a lot to learn. He studied tape, asked questions, learned where to be and why.
before training, I went in their office because I didn't really know like about the positioning, the tactical stuff, you know, but they helped me every time. They helped me grow. Like I saw like how I improve a lot, you know, and my level like goes to the next level, you know, because they've been there since the first that they saw the potential in me, and they decided to help me. They really did the job, you know. So I really appreciate that, and like that's why I'm in the MLS level now, yeah.
Early in 2023, he was close to signing with the Sounders' first team. Then, without warning, his life changed drastically.
Like I did a great preseason, even score. Like I was so good in preseason, and we came back, you know, training, and then stuff like that happened. You know, it was like all my world like goes down. Like I didn't really know. Like was like, what's really going on? I'm about to live my dream, and then like this stuff happened. You know, but like you know, I'm a son of God. Whatever happened, you know, is God will decide. You know, and I decided to fight and not let this thing affect me. You know, the doctor was saying like, no, maybe it's not possible that you might play one day, but I was like, no, I'm gonna fight through. I'm gonna play even if I have one eye. I'm gonna be the best. Everybody's gonna say, oh, this kid has one eye, but he's even better than those who has two eyes. And that's my mindset now. You know, no matter where I go, no matter how defender is good, or like I'm gonna go through and then I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be the best winger in this league, and that's my mindset. That's how I get to the first team.
Then, another blow. His father passed away.
My family didn't want me like to be. They know that this thing affects me, you know, and they didn't want me to go back to my country, and then like I'll be so much affected that when I came back, you know, my game will not be the same, you know. And that moment I just signed with the first team, so that was the moment to help the team. So I talked to my mom. She was like, Georgie, I know you want to come, but for me, I think like the good thing for you to do is to stay and help your team, you know. And I know your dad will tell me, if he was there, he would say the same thing, you know, because my dad like will never want me to leave training or something like that to just go do other thing, you know, because he's been helping me a lot since I used to be a kid to just keep training and stuff like that, you know. So like I listened to my family, and then I decided to stay and then play for my dad. And then after at the end of the year, I went back to see everything, and yeah, that wasn't easy, you know, playing with knowing that your dad passed away and you can't even go over there, like just seeing for last one time, you know, it's very tough. But I decided to play for the team because I love the team, and yeah, that's the more important thing. I have a lot of people here supporting me, so that was huge.
Right towards the spot, that one's side goal, and touched in by Maningo.
Ball come on me, I just put it in, you know. And in that moment, I was thinking about my dad, you know, because my dad passed away the day before. So the coach even asked me, Georgie, are you sure like you can play? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. So, you know, scoring that goal, and then like I was crying even at the end, you know, everybody come to support me, but that was a good moment for me. And I even, you know, put my hand on sky, you know, to say, yeah, Dad, I know you over there, but, you know, like I'm playing for you now. And that was a good moment, you know, and thanks God for everything, you know, and that was one of the best moments of my life, yeah.
He's proven he belongs. Now, he wants more.
I'm always fighting, but my goal is like, you know, to be the best in my position, try to score goal, assist, and try to help the team win trophy, you know. We never know like how it's gonna end, you know, but everybody's dream is to play like, you know, maybe one day in Europe, Champions League, something like that, you know. You never know, that's my dream too, you know, but now I want to help the team, you know, the same way the team helped me too.
He's not just here for himself. His journey is a message.
Whatever you want in your life, go find it, go get it. Because if you don't do it, maybe in the future, one day you're gonna regret it, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I could, maybe no. In my mind, there is no maybe. Either I find a way to do that, or either like I create myself a way to do that. So that's my mindset.
Action.
Back here at Swangard Stadium, things got a bit hectic at the end of the first half. 2-1 your scoreline, St. Louis City 2 with the advantage. In case you missed out on what happened, let's catch you up on everything that took place. Seemed like everything was going about the way you would maybe anticipate. Top team in the entire league, firing in all cylinders, had a couple of great chances early in the match. They were testing the goalkeeper, they were testing that Vancouver back line. Several great opportunities, but they weren't able to knock any of them through. Then Vancouver had a couple of response chances. Antoine Coupland with a handful of moments where he was brewing something up, but nothing could quite convert on their end either. It took until the 30th minute, this corner kick, a penalty kick would be called. Johnny Selemani stepping in just a little late. Ref gives the penalty, and Mackay Joyner knows what to do from the penalty spot, his 12th goal of the season. Then on the other end, Vancouver with an opportunity to find an answer. Antoine Coupland, a name we're going to hear again, and I imagine we'll probably hear as well here in the second half. Unable to convert there, and then some dangerous opportunities, and then from the set piece in stoppage time, Coupland to O'Neal to make it 1-1. Seemed like it was going to be 1-1 going into the break, and then just moments later, Cam Seeley, courtesy of Mackay Joyner, puts it away, makes it 2-1. And here are your numbers from the first 45 minutes. As you saw in the highlights, and you can see in the numbers, a lot of great chances for both sides. St. Louis City 2, at this point, earned the advantage, but so much more can still happen here in the second 45 minutes of action. What kind of adjustments, what kind of personnel changes will redirect the course of this match? St. Louis City 2, 10 games straight without a loss, looking to make it 11. Currently in the driver's seat to do so. As far as changes are concerned, there won't be any personnel-wise. There'll be the same 22 players on the pitch, which means there are 4 players for St. Louis that have a yellow card. So to start, it will just be mentality and tactical tweaks. The whistle sounds, and we are ready to go here in the second half of action. Vancouver Whitecaps 2 in the white, the home side, and then the visitors, St. Louis City 2 in the navy. My name is Mark Schoenstert. I'll be your commentator for the second half of action here. Our official, Matthew Sawari. To draw the line early in the game in the first half, our head official. A couple of bookings, something worth monitoring.
Copy that. Okay.
These games sometimes in MLS Next Pro can get really topsy-turvy, just a ton of swings and momentum. You could see it from one half to another. You could see it with a 15-minute interval. We saw it in the span of about a minute or two in stoppage time, as you think perhaps that the home side's going to go into the break feeling really good at a tie ball game, and then St. Louis City 2 with the immediate response before that halftime whistle. Kuzain rolls it to his right. Perez drags in the middle for McSorley. Ball's back to him, and he scores! A second-time adjustment. Brendan McSorley bags his 7th of the year. Tries the one-timer, and then one-times it again. This time, just bounces by the goalkeeper. Isaac Boehmer misjudging it. And suddenly, it's 3-1.
Scored in the 47th minute by number 80, Brendan McSorley.
We're going to get a yellow card handed here. Caden Glover gets the booking. That's now 5 players that are booked for St. Louis. Colin Welsh, Juan Kuzane, Kai Joyner, Caden Glover, and Tyson Pierce all booked in this match.
Yellow card caution sets to St. Louis City 2, number 46, Caden Glover.
That one was smart. Landing off of Salamani, out for a goal kick. So when it comes to that volatile nature of this league, I actually had a chance to chat with Whitecaps 2 head coach Ricardo Clark just about that. And he said it's fairly unique to MLS Next Pro. It's its own animal. As Jaskalainen can't quite track that one down before Isaac Bomer reaches it. Well, this league is a bit of a melting pot of sorts as far as talent is concerned. You get players in a lot of different phases in their development. And teams have different approaches to their minute management and who they afford this opportunity to. You get those teenagers who are just coming up from the academy, getting their first look at what professional ball looks like. You get your more established second team players. They're going to be at varying stages of their growth. Lifted ball sent up, headed towards goal. He's offside. Caden Glover behind that back line on the service. You have those two groups, and then you add in the first teamer that either A, is spending consistent time with the team, or B, is just coming down temporarily, looking to get some game minutes. That has a wide range of talent, experience, personality. It makes any adjustment in the match so widespread in its results. So although it's 3-1 here, this game could change on a dime. All that unpredictability, though. Good experience, though, for these players because you have to manage whatever is thrown at you. Whether you've seen your team's lead evaporate before your eyes, or on the flip side, if you're riding the adrenaline of a comeback, or if there's just a sequence where a bunch of goals have been scored, how do you maintain yourself emotionally? One timer towards goal. Emil Jaskalainen looking to hit that one to a high degree of difficulty. Salamani lets Pierre scoop it. Nelson Pierre rolls it wide. Hooplin plays it inside. Knocked away. Vancouver will shriek forward again. Driven ball denied. Joyner feeling some pressure from Bovalina. And then it's swiped away. Djordjevic. And stop bouting there with Joyner, but Makai Joyner ends up the victor of that one-on-one. McSorley rolls it in centrally. Glover now trotting it forward. Caden Glover rolls it out to Jaskalainen. And a loose touch from Mark O'Neill rolls it out for a corner kick. Juan Kuzain, the fourth-year man with this squad, who will provide the service from the left corner flag. Driven ball from Kuzain, and a driven clearance. Pierce sliding in, hoping that possession be withheld in favor of St. Louis. Tucci. Djurjevic pressing onto that ball after he lost it. Tweet. Back to Cam Seeley, who one of the goal scorers in this game, the center back. Back-to-back games with goals scored. Kuzain launches this one over to the left-hand side, hoping it could traverse the pitch and reach Joyner. Sorely dispossessed from the ball there. Yuma Tucci. Ball's out to the left-hand side. Play will go on, no whistle blown. Now it will be sounded. Sorely down on the ground, clutching his right leg, perhaps closer to the ankle. Sorley, goal scorer here in the second half of action, got things going awfully quick, just 2 minutes in. Chevrolet is proud to be a partner of Vancouver Whitecaps FC since 2023. Together in this stadium, together on the pitch, together, let's drive. Chevrolet.ca. Juan Kuzain on the ball, distributes it to its right. Entry to Pierce. Pierce with some real estate. Now plays it up ahead to Joyner. Mackay Joyner. Lofted ball, no one's there to receive it except for Vancouver. Entweet. Drags it back to Pierce. A little back and forth between Kuzain and Seeley. Juan Kuzain, a bit of a playstyle prototype for this St. Louis CITY2 side. A player who was very good in 2022, had some injury and consistency issues in the previous 2 seasons. But John Hackworth saying that his style matches how he wants this group to play. So although he may not be the most vocal guy in this group, the players look to him and they see and understand what exactly John Hackworth is looking for from his guys. John Hackworth also reminisced a little bit about his time, as in Hussein's time playing at Swope Park, now known as Sporting Kansas City 2, and he was at Swope Park. Certainly gave John Hackworth some trouble while he was coaching Louisville. Certainly likes what the guy has to offer to this squad and what he portrays for this squad. Colin Welsh. Long ball up the pitch. The rebound collected by Glover. Caden Glover striding forward. Tried to knife it inside to Jaskalainen. Your scoreline. Well, that was a poised step from Isaac Boehmer. Had a body flying at him. Just aptly sidesteps the issue. Joyner into a sea of white jerseys, loses his footing. Welsh coming well out of his box to knock that one away. 3-1 your scoreline. A penalty kick was the opening goal in the first half, 30 minutes in for St. Louis. Then 2 goals quickly scored in stoppage time to make it 2-1. And then just moments after the second half started, Brendan McSorley took a shot, deflected right back to him. So he gave it another go and he scored. Second time's the charm kind of situation. Vancouver finding themselves on the opposite end of the formula here in the second half of last game. They were up 2-0. Not able to hang on to that lead. Ricardo Clark talked a bit about game management and knowing your situation when it comes to your decision making. I mentioned when you're up 2 goals, you need to lock it down, pick and choose your moments, be compact. This one sliding through, Kuplin back across, falls to him. Kuplin still on his feet. And it eventually collected by Colin Welsh. Antoine Kuplin with a couple of opportunities. His name called a couple times in the first half as well. When you're down 2 goals in the second half, you have to be aggressive. So this Vancouver side need to be ready for that last game, and now they are in those shoes in this game. It's St. Louis now that have to be more picky about when they opt to push forward. That's one of those things, though, that you can really learn at this level, though, is put yourself in a situation, and whether that be up a goal, down a goal, etc., all the different variations and formulas for how a game can unfurl. What is the proper risk assessment in that given scenario? Perez feeds it to McSorley. He returns the favor. Miguel Perez taps it inside. Now it's up top. Glover fires! just off target. Good combinations there for St. Louis. 5 to 6 different players getting a touch on the ball in the attacking third. And here they come again. Jaskalainen gets sandwiched by 2 white jerseys. Pierre receives the slip-through ball. Tucci steps forward, fires, and it deflected up into the air. Gabriel McKenna able to slide into it. BMO is proud to be a founding partner of Vancouver Whitecaps FC since 2006. Join the Bank of Soccer at bmo.com. Juan Cousin is able to shield the ball away despite on the ground for a moment. Selemani trying to pop that one up into the danger zone. That sense of urgency going to uptick notch by notch with every passing minute. Castro bending it in himself. Selemani, 2 blue jerseys in front of him. He'll drag it back. Tucci takes some contact, no whistle. It'll be Selemani again. Just gets that one away. Kuplin can't seem to escape this left flank. Castro couldn't release the pass. Jaskalainen now in a bind of his own. And it'll stay with St. Louis. St. Louis CITY2 getting ready to take their first dip into the bag of subs. A little bit thin in the roster these days, St. Louis. Lost a good chunk of players to St. Louis University, the Billikens men's soccer program. Now that we're here in August, the collegiate soccer season right around the corner. SLU always such a great soccer program. Been a staple in the city forever. John Hackworth and Kevin Kalish been good friends for a long time. So there's a good line of interaction between the two of them throughout the college season. Sure, a ton of updates are being given for all of the players that made that transition over from the academy to the Billikens. McSorley rolls it in central, scooped up by Bomer. fan support for that St. Louis University soccer team. Really was the indicator of the fan culture that was to come when St. Louis City came to town.
For St. Louis City 2, in the game,
although their bench has some young academy guys on it, Mateo Kidd is still one of the quality options coming off the bench here, 27 years old. He'll step in for Makai Joyner. He'll end his evening with a goal and an assist. Of course, the goal coming from the penalty spot. Still a good shift for the youngster. Kidd fighting with two jabs from two different players, able to maintain his footing and the ball. Quick introduction to the match. That pass had some heat, looking to reach Mateo Kidd on the right-hand side. Excuse me, the left-hand side. Play can resume here. Now we'll get some changes for Ricardo Clark's side.
First substitution for Whitecaps.
We've got Cyprian Cachuele subbing in for Giuseppe Bovalina. So that's one first-teamer out. And then Nelson Pierre, also a first-teamer, will make way for Ryan Alumi. Some young firepower coming off the bench. Hoping to help spark something here for Vancouver Whitecaps too. Alumi with 7 goals and 6 assists this season. Alumi injured the first part of the season. Took some time to build him back up, but Ricardo Clark saying that he's beginning to show what his potential is. I really like what they've gotten him. A challenge and another yellow card. This time the captain, Gabriel McKenna, guilty. Ryan Alumi, number 75, though. Continue the thought. Player that has not only got the technical ability and the commitment to score goals, he's hungry to score goals, but he's also willing to help in the collective defending and press. You mash that all together, and that's a nice package for a player. They could use some of that goal hunger here. Under 20 minutes to go, down 2 for Vancouver. Castro spins it inside, nearly reaches Mark O'Neill again. The center back awfully close to a set-piece brace. If he can just get a piece of that, put it towards goal, Colin Welsh will have his hands full. Good service from Jackson Castro. As it stands now, though, still a 2-goal lead for the Western Conference juggernauts. McSorley on the right channel, still McSorley. He is being hounded by Daniel Russo. No wiggle room offered. TELUS now offering pure fiber internet across Canada. O'Neal. Back over to Djordjevic. Able to spin around one player. Nikola Djordjevic still carrying it forward. He could spray it out to the left. And that's exactly what he'll do. Selemani into the 18 he goes. Returns it back to Djordjevic. Selemani has another go at it. Did not get that one by Perez. Just a bit too loose in his behavior over there. The 30th minute penalty opened the scoring here for St. Louis. Then a goal for each side stoppage time in the first half at 2-1. And Brendan McSorley scored 2 minutes into the second half to give St. Louis the 3-1 lead we see now. Brendan McSorley and Cam Seeley scoring in this match. Seeley now back-to-back games with goals scored after having never scored in his professional career prior to that. Had a fun little celebration with McSorley after he scored his first professional goal last week. The guys were feigning chomping up a good burger, and John Hackworth described the players as a bunch of fools. Endearingly, of course. Those two, though, Brendan McSorley, Cam Seeley, roommates, so well close with each other. I'm sure there's some inside joke twirling between the two of them that spurned that goal scored celebration. That's just one example of just how much this St. Louis side has respect amongst the group. Got to have that camaraderie. It's always got to be a fine balance. You want the players to like each other, have that chemistry, but you want to make sure also that there's enough friction so that players will call each other out and be willing to draw conflict, and these are not mutually exclusive things. Sahil Deo will sub into the match. He'll step in for Daniel Russo.
And in game number 66, Sahil Deo.
So 15 more minutes rolling left in this one. At least of the scheduled 90. Isaac Bomer, first team goalkeeper. One of those MLS supplemental slots. Djordjevic, and one heck of a run just moments ago. Trying to fight again. Got a lot of motor. McSorley. Could be a breakaway chance now for the home side. Tucci into the middle, fired shot! Looking to pick out the top shelf, Cachuele. Not quite on frame.
For St. Louis CITY2, in game number 46, Caden Lover.
Cyprian Cachuele, the substitute. Looking to dazzle there. Caden Glover will be subbed out for Lorenzo Cornelius. One of the academy kids. He's gotten a good chunk of looks this season from St. Louis City FC2. His 9th appearance of the season. When your roster is a little bit thinner than usual, you get the opportunity to give some of these academy guys a chance to not only just sit on the bench and travel with the side, but also get the opportunity to play in some of these games. Shout out in order, of course, to the academy program for having players who are ready enough to step into that role. For St. Louis City 2, Dale Schilly, the academy director, Louis Swisher, the head coach of the U18s. This one brought down, Cachuele. Not quite corralled enough. Colin Welsh gets his hands on it. Just got away from it the last second. It's a tall order to bring that ball down, so you can't fault him for having a little bit of cushion on the touch. Cachuele. Back to Castro. Floating this one up. Couple of waving moves. Corner kick for Vancouver. Started progressing forward at a higher frequency. Their lone goal today coming from a free kick. Perhaps a corner will be the next solution. From the left corner flag. One-timer, surge back into the mixer! And Vancouver have a sign of life. We forecasted his impact here as a substitute. Ryan Illumi contorts his body and rips it towards the goal. His 8th strike of the season. Just 17 years old. I mentioned they needed his hunger for goal. Demonstrating it nicely there on the corner kick. We still got 10 more minutes. Cornelius on the other side. St. Louis were able to find an immediate response after conceding last time. Tracking back and winning the ball, Antoine Coupland. Illumi getting grabbed by Cousin. He's already on the yellow card, so worth noting. Ryan Illumi. Not too long into his stint inside this organization, joined the academy back in 2023. But when you've got some of that talent, you've got the willingness to work at it, you can prove yourself pretty quickly. I mean, boy, has he proved himself this season. Now 14 goal contributions. O'Neal roll it forward. Palaio. Here's Illumi again. Entree demonstrating some physicality, some shirt tugging against Illumi. Not want to give him space to breathe and operate. Salamani rolls it ahead. How about that ball played forward for Illumi? Ryan Alumi, too hesitant. He had so many options. Overwhelmed with choice, Ryan Alumi lets it roll into the goalkeeper's arms. That's stunning. Ryan Alumi, you have the choice to take it on your left, take it on your right, play the ball to your left-hand side. You had a fellow runner, I believe that was Coupland who was with him. Such a massive opportunity gone to the wayside. They're on the push again, though. Gotta have short-term memory. Djordjevic into the 18. Lifting this one up. Not out of the woods yet. Played back in the center. Coupland playing it behind him. Castro now. And Vancouver come back from 2 goals down here late in the match. Coupland service. Knocked away by Antwi. That one's still in the fray. Now collected by Welsh. Five minutes plus stoppage time to go in this match at Swangard Stadium. And it has gotten awfully tight here in the final stanza. It seemed as if St. Louis had taken the sting out of this game here in the second half. Vancouver, though, started progressively finding more and more opportunities going forward. Talked earlier about the ebbs and flows at this MLS Next Pro level, how quickly things can change. And we're seeing how those tides can turn in real time. Sliding into the rescue, Isaac Bomer. Not wanting any silly business there. Well, it's been given away carelessly. A stinger for St. Louis. Emil Jaskalainen recaptures the cushion. Just comes off the boot of Johnny Salamani incorrectly. And even then, you wonder about the decision to play the ball in that direction in the first place. Simply killer for the home side. And St. Louis, gracious recipients. Emil Jaskalainen with his 6th goal of the season.
St. Louis City 2 goals scored in the 86th minute by number 16, Emil Jaskalainen.
So after so much positivity for the home side going forward here in the second half, that's how quickly the good energy can be snipped. St. Louis City 2 now in very good position to go now 11 games unbeaten. 10 wins out of 11. Two more changes readying for Ricardo Clark's side. Before play can resume here, those aforementioned changes will now put into place.
For substitution for Whitecaps FC2, leading the game number 43, Antoine Couplin.
So the changes will be Carson Rasak and Mateo Clark stepping in. Yuma Tuji and Antoine Couplin will make their way to the bench. That is all the changes for Ricardo Clark.
Number 68, Yuma Suji. And the game number 64, Mateo Clark.
Both of these sides will quickly turn around and play on the weekend. Talk about a tough slate of games. Vancouver Whitecaps 2 go from this one to playing on Saturday on the road against the Town. So not only do you have to play against the top team in the conference, but then immediately play another one of the best teams in the conference in the Town. One more day for St. Louis. They'll play on Sunday at home against Colorado Rapids too, as they continue to have an iron grip on first place in the West. Free kick incoming for Vancouver. As we cross that 90-minute threshold, we're going to get 3 more minutes added on top of it.
Fourth official on the sideline is indicating a minimum of 3 minutes of added time in the second.
Well, we saw 2 goals scored in the span of a minute in stoppage time in the first half. Of course, 1 for each side. So you can't count out the possibility of Vancouver mounting a crazy last-second comeback here, but it's certainly going to take quite the effort. Castro whipping the ball in, headed towards goal, knocked down, and it couldn't be punched home. It fell to Rasak. He collides with the goalkeeper, Colin Welsh. Just couldn't connect with the ball cleanly, spinning off his boot.
For St. Louis City 2, leading the game number 33, Tyson Pierce. And in game number 79, Emilio Jones. Fourth substitution for St. Louis City 2, leading the game.
Colin Welsh still on the ground.
Leading game number 75 was Zalkuze. And in game number 68, Alexander John.
We've got 2 changes, as you can probably hear over the PA, but right now we're looking to see how Colin Welsh is doing. 22-year-old getting his 10th start this season for St. Louis from Overland Park, Kansas. Spent his college days at Western Michigan before being drafted to St. Louis. Fighting with the young Carson Rasak. Was trying to get that ball back towards net. So we're gonna get 2 changes here. We might as well do that housekeeping. Emiliano Chavez subbing in for Tyson Pierce. And then making his debut with St. Louis City 2. Alexander Junt subbing in for Juan Kuzain. Kid from Eureka, Missouri. Big congratulations to Alexander, getting the chance to get some minutes here on the road. Our attention turns back to the goalkeeper, Colin Welsh. Good to see him back up on his feet. Gotta make sure all of his facilities are okay. Good to see this one out. Here's that opportunity again. Tries to stumble back in. It looks like he took a knee to the head in the fallout. So as you can see, we've obviously gone over the 3 allocated minutes, but I think it was at about the 91st minute mark when that collision happened. So we might still see about 2 more minutes before that final whistle sounds. Jaskalainen, away from him. Djordjevic taps it inside. Selemani showing some pace. Johnny Selemani still cruising forward. Rolls it out wide to the left-hand side. Shot knocked down. A cruising opportunity for Vancouver. And now Mateo Kidd played it ahead nicely, or at least it was a nice idea. McSorley, though, caught stuck there. Cachuele right along that touchline. Service bending inside. Falls over to Deo. Sahil Deo shoots off target. And the final whistle will sound now. A game that had some crazy junctions, but it's 4-2 your final score. St. Louis City 2 victorious. 11 games unbeaten now for John Hackworth's side. Here's our man of the match, which will be Mackay Joyner. Scored the opening goal from the penalty spot, then supplied an assist that gave his team the lead right before the halftime break. You see it here, plays it nicely, and then Cam Seeley would do the rest. A goal and assist for Joyner. He continues to rack up the goals and assists this season. But more impressively, this unit for St. Louis City 2 continues to impress. 11 games unbeaten. 4-2 your final score for our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew. I'm Mark Schoenster. Appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Have a good night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.